All right, so I tried really hard to not make this video 30 minutes long, and I may or may not have done it. I just finished reading the Demon Slayer manga maybe a couple nights ago, and I crushed it. 2 solid nights, you know, 100 chapters a piece or whatever. Dunzo funzo. Unfortunately, the ending was kind of spoiled for me, but when I was told the ending, I was like, there's no way that a manga actually got away with doing that ending. It's not possible. I would love the ending, trust me. I love villains, right? I like when the villains win, but there's no way you make a shonen manga and then the villain wins, right? So I had to read it for myself. I had to read the whole thing, like just straight after Mugen Train. It took me about a week or so after I watched the Mugen Train. And I was like, you know what? I'm up late at night. I can't go to sleep. Fuck it. I'm gonna read the manga. But for the life of me, I could not get this thing to be less than 30 minutes. But this time I wrote shit down. Henshin Go baby, what's good guys? Yoku here, and I guess we can just kind of jump into it. Spoiler warning. Let me let you guys know this is a spoiler dangerous zone. You are entering spoiler territory. All right, once you go past this point of the video, there's no turning back. I'm giving you like 5 seconds. Spoiler tag somewhere around here. If you don't want to be spoiled by Demon Slayer, don't watch the rest of the video. Are you good? Okay, cool. Y'all are still here though, right? Like, bet. People that read Demon Slayer, we're gonna have a little talk real quick, okay? And I guess people that want to watch it because you don't really care and you just want to see the spoilers anyway, that's fine too. I will do my best not to spoil a lot of major things because you still need to. I still encourage people to read the manga, right? But I am gonna talk about some very specific things that were important to me in my overall opinion about Demon Slayer's manga. Now, as many of us have seen, Mugen Train was amazing, all right? I know a lot of people don't think so. Coming from reading the manga and reading that specific part, I think the animation was done beautifully for the manga, and that leads me to believe that a lot of the Demon Slayer like anime series itself is going to be animated wonderfully. I think the anime is going to carry this series entirely. The manga is okay. It's not great, it's not horrible, but the animation, the anime is just, it's phenomenal. That's what literally brought Demon Slayer and put it on the map. I think the Mugen Train arc, that entire anime fight, I think because it was animated and we've already seen it, if you go and read the manga like I did, Mugen Train is the peak of Demon Slayer, and not even just the anime, right? Let me kind of break that down real quick. There's so much emotion packed into just meeting Rengoku and then his entire backstory. You get all this stuff about Tanjiro, you get that sweet heartfelt moment, you get Inosuke and his weird inner, you know, self, and then you get Zenitsu and his complicated but not so complicated inner self, and Nezuko, who's just kind of there all the time, right? It really feels like they treat Nezuko as a one-off character until it's time to use her, and that's cool, I guess, because she's always in the box, but more on Nezuko later. What I want to specifically talk about is the fight between Rengoku and Akaza, which is Upper Demon 3 for those that don't know. Maybe you don't know the name. I didn't remember it until I read the manga, but Akaza, the guy that punches a hole in Rengoku's chest, right? That entire scenario, that entire fight, that entire scene is probably like peak Demon Slayer, because nobody, I'm not gonna say nobody important, but nobody of that importance. A Hashira has not been killed yet, right? We know these Hashira to be the strongest of the strongest Demon Slayer, right? Nobody can take out the Hashira. They're so fucking strong. They can take on, you know, 97 Kizukis at one time, something like that, right? And to see Rengoku go to his maximum potential, beyond his maximum potential, and then still lose, while the demon can run off scot-free, recover, no problem, because he's an upper demon. They recover instantly. That's what hurt the most. And seeing that and then reading it again, nothing really comes close after that point. Like, nothing really hits you as hard as Akaza does punching Rengoku in the chest. So after that point, we get to Tengen's arc, which by Tengen is probably my favorite character, right? Man's got 3 wives and he's 23 years old. Come on now, my guy. And he's a ninja. Tengen is the best. So anyway, enough fanboying about my guy with like, I can't not fanboy, bro. My guy entered the scene in the anime, right? He doesn't say it in the manga. He says something else. But in the anime, you know, they changed the word. Everything he does is with flamboyance, and I'm like, yo, all right, hold on, time out. I fuck with that. But moving along, right? Tengen's arc is kind of like the last solo arc. He is right after the Rengoku arc, the Mugen Train arc, and you know, his story is impactful. It's a beautiful, twisted, kind of fucked up thing. And that demon in particular, I think her name's Daki. I like Daki. I think Daki's cool. I like fucked up women characters that have a good heart, but it's not a good heart because they got fucked over in life. Whatever. Tengen's arc is kind of like the last solo arc, right? Right after Tengen's arc, everything kind of just starts getting smashed into one, and it really just becomes the final arc. There are a few other arcs, or actually there's a couple arcs right after that. I think 2 more that are between some other Hashira. And then there's the training arc, of course, but within the training arc, the final arc just happens, okay? Master Man dies. Dude with the blind face is all fucked up like this, right? But he's like a master, and apparently he's strong as shit. I don't think he's as strong as all the Hashira say he is. I really think he's weak as fuck, and I think he can be killed in like a punch. But whatever, that's just me. I only saw that guy do one thing, and it ended his life. Now, before I jump into the actual final arc and start talking about that and my opinions, let me kind of throw something out there real quick. So the creator of Demon Slayer, the mangaka, right, basically came out and admitted that the Demon Slayers don't really have breathing styles. The flames, the water, the snakes, all the special effects that the Demon Slayers do isn't real. And they're just really good samurai or really good ninja, and they just happen to have these techniques that they've trained and learned, right? We know about it. Samurai Champloo doesn't have powers. They just have really amazing swordplay, right? I'm okay with that. The problem comes into play when the demons actually have powers. These are demons. They are supernatural beings that can kill people, regenerate fast as hell, and eat other humans. They are literal monsters. So the idea of literal monsters fighting these humans with human capabilities and human potential threw everything off for me. Zenitsu doing thunderclap and flash and just zooming across the screen, right? And going super fast. Even when he's fighting Rui's little brother, the spider guy, right? And when you see it animated, it's pretty much the same way from the manga, where he, you know, all the way across, you know, the threads of silk. That's not humanly possible. I don't care what ninja, you know, it exists in. Even Naruto, they have some means of supernatural powers. For the mangaka to say that they don't have any powers at all and it's just pure human skill really makes me question a lot of what's happening in Demon Slayer, and like if something is a fantasy versus if it's real or not. Muzan is too fucking strong. The upper demons are too fucking strong. Rengoku was not the strongest Hashira. We assumed he was, but he is not the strongest Hashira. Coming to the Stone Hashira, who is the strongest Hashira by far, he cannot 1v1 an upper demon, let alone Muzan. So when we get to this final arc, now we're here, right? Now we're in the final arc, and you're seeing all this chaos, this blood, this death, limbs being chopped off. So much shit is happening in this final arc, mostly just from Muzan alone, but the upper demons are still doing upper demon shit. They're still killing tons of demon slayers. They are, you know, I was gonna say decapitating, but that's definitely not the word. Mutilating, I think, is the definition of chopping off body parts while somebody's alive. They're mutilating Hashira, right? Eyes are being gouged out, arms are being chopped off, legs are being hindered, bones are being smashed, whatever you want to like call it, it's happening. And so there are some pretty notable deaths, and one which is actually, there's 2, but you know, whatever. Shinobu, right? Kocho and Tamayo, I think is her name, the demon girl who's like Nezuko, but she's a woman, and she's not like Nezuko, but she is. You know what I mean? Those 2 are the most important deaths that happened during this final arc with Muzan's fight. Kocho being the sole reason that Upper Demon 2 dies, and then Tamayo being the sole reason that they're even able to fight Muzan in the first place. So her and Kocho basically combined forces to poison and create this really fucked up poison specifically for demons. They also created a cure to turn demons back into humans, and then they also created like this super regenerative thing that heals almost instantly from whatever injury that you have, minus fatal stuff. Throughout all of this, Inosuke is by far the best character. I don't care what anybody says, he is one of my he was my favorite until Tengen, but Tengen, Inosuke, Nezuko, okay? Inosuke is by far the best character in this entire fucking series. All right, the entire arc, the final arc, Inosuke is the best character. Just the way that he appears, just no fucks given. And even though he gives a fuck, it's the way that he's during his fight with Upper Demon 2. It's a fucking upper demon. You're not supposed to win this. If Kocho couldn't win, and she's way more skilled than you, she's a Hashira, you're not supposed to win this fight. Inosuke gives no fucks. Just comes in swinging, ready to go, just fucking fang bore everything, right? And it just, the boar breathing style is amazing for him because he just doesn't care. It suits him so perfectly, and him plus Kanayo are able to actually handle the Upper Demon 2 plus Kocho's poison and it just it's great. After that point, you know, he helps out with Tanjiro. There's so much shit that happens just based off of Nosuke being a Nosuke, and that's why I say he's like the best character to me, but whole different video on that later. What is important about Inosuke though is how relevant Upper Demon 2 is to a lot of the Hashira, like just in general. Inosuke being abandoned as a kid, the whole reason for that is because Upper Demon 2 ate his mom. But his mom found out that Upper Demon 2 is a demon because Upper Demon 2's backstory is basically him being this god to an entire clan of his, right? And so people come to him as a god and they pray and ask for this benefactor, right? These benefactorial things for a better life, right? And his mom being, you know, she's a mom, bro. She's trying to take care of a kid. The husband just happened to be abusive, and she's like, I can't have this. You can't be around my kid beating the shit out of me. So she ran away. And you know, it's a sweet life for a little bit. She's living fine. She's serving Upper Demon 2 like the rest of the women around there. Meanwhile, Upper Demon 2 is eating the women, and he is one sadistic fuck, mind you. All right, he only eats pretty women. He kills the guys. Period. There's nothing else to say about it. And Inosuke's mom being a pretty woman, he plans on eating her. He was gonna eat her as soon as he saw her, but then he's like, you know what? I kind of want to see what happens if you raise this kid. He's just sadistic. He just wanted to see what would happen. He lives for fucking centuries. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. He can eat her when she's 52 years old, and he'd be like, beautiful bone dust. Oh, delicious. Like he's fucked up. Anyway, he killed Inosuke's mom. This is the very first time you see Inosuke actually get angry, and it's wonderful because that anger isn't blind, it's revenge. Vengeance is so fucking sweet, man. But that's not it. Surprise, surprise, he eats pretty women. Upper Demon 2 is the one that killed Shinobu's older sister and killed Shinobu. But so without spoiling the entirety of this arc, right, like the whole fight, Tanjiro basically turns into Goku, and I hate it. There's a whole, you know, thing with Tanjiro and the mark, right, the flame across his forehead, and the original sun user, which is fucking immaculate. I love this concept. Okay, Yoriichi, I think it's Yoriichi-san is his name, the original fucking samurai, bro, like the Demon Slayer. Okay, he wasn't even calling himself a Demon Slayer. He just happened to kill some people that may or may not have been demons. He was such a gifted person from birth that it was immaculate. He is the sun breathing, and Tanjiro using the Hinokami Kagura, that is sun breathing. And Tanjiro is able to create this new style of sun breathing mixed with water breathing because of the forms and how fluid it is, right? How fluid water breathing is and how strong sun breathing is and how accurate it is, how quick it is. Smashes them together, and that's how he ends up fighting so many of these things. Like with Akaza, that fight was great when he finally unlocks this new sight, right? The sight that Yoriichi-san is able to always see. He doesn't see the same way other humans do. He sees only in this sight for the longest period of time. So he's able to see through like living creatures, and that's how he just gets these perfect cuts. That's why he was able to pretty much, like when he came across Muzan, instant kill. There was no fight. You ever seen one of those moves where the Yato slash user opens his sword barely and you see a million slashes in front of him? That was Yoriichi-san. Yoriichi would just, he annihilated Muzan, bro. If Muzan didn't explode and do what he did, there would be none of this Demon Slayer stuff would be happening, and Yoriichi-san would have been able to pass down the sun user style as much as he wanted. Tanjiro doesn't train for any of this once he unlocks it mentally. Like once some mental shit happens and he sees Yoriichi-san and he sees his ancestor and, you know, watches him do all the moves, Tanjiro just all of a sudden knows how to completely do every single form of sun breathing. He didn't get to read the book that Rengoku had because Rengoku's dad ripped up all the fucking pages and burned it. Somehow Tanjiro just magically knows how to do it throughout all of that. Now granted, let me make this clear, the ancestor that was Tanjiro's ancestor passed down sun style through dancing. So they're not using katanas, they're using the fans and they're dancing through it. The Hinokami Kagura, the dance itself, is sun style techniques. He is performing these sun style techniques, so he does innately know the sun style techniques, but to be able to apply that in fight as soon as he just mentally unlocks it, it really just felt like a Goku moment, and it irked the shit out of me because again, Muzan is terrifyingly strong. He is the strongest fucking demon to live thousands of years. Like, it doesn't make any sense how Tanjiro is able to beat him because he unlocks mental capacity. Like, hey bro, I need more RAM. Hey, if you go to downloadmoreram.com, you can get more RAM. It felt like Tanjiro just downloaded more RAM. And then to top it all off, when he does kill him, Muzan infects him with his own fucking influence and turns Tanjiro into a demon, and then they have to use the cure, and then Nezuko gets bitten, she's a human now, and just That's why the Demon Slayer manga feels lackluster and unnecessary. Like the whole ending just feels lackluster and unnecessary. And if for whatever reason Muzan would have annihilated every single Demon Slayer, I would have not been angry. I would have been upset, sure, sad as fuck. You see my boy Zenitsu, Nezuko get absorbed and Nosuke die? No. I don't want to see it, but I feel like that would have been a better ending than what we got. Only being because of how Goku fied, they turned Tanjiro. If Tanjiro just didn't become Goku, I'd be okay with it. Even if they would have extended the manga, just maybe 50 more chapters or so, right? Just to give them all proper training arc. If Tanjiro would have been able to just unlock all that, if they all would have been able to master this marked form in time, I think that would have been better. I just wish there was a little bit more, just a little bit more of the Demon Slayer manga to kind of wrap things up properly, give proper backgrounds, and just like let everything flourish the way that it naturally would instead of rushing into it. Because realistically, the way that it just rushed into the final arc in the fight with Muzan, he should have won. But this video is already long enough. I don't know how long I actually managed to make it or cut it in half, but I'm gonna leave you guys with that. I'm not making another video. I've recorded this 4 times on 3 different days. I'm done. If this video is long as shit, the video is long as shit. For those that watched the video all the way through, thank you so much. If you have anything to say about Demon Slayer, if you want to talk about Demon Slayer, I'm all here for it. Drop it in the comments down below. I let everybody know that this was a spoiler territory zone. So if you happen to come here, you see some comments and you get spoiled, I apologize in advance, but you should have watched more of the video to know that I said this was a fucking spoiler. Like the video, share with your friends, share with your big sister, especially if she got big opie. Send her my way. You already know what it is. I can't say my user outro because it's inappropriate for YouTube. Smell you later.